Hi, everybody. After hearing Larry talk about the work of the Hub and these minimum viable ministries and all that goes into this project, we're here as your illustrations. I'm Pastor Bradley Schutt. I serve Millville United Methodist Church in Millville, Delaware.
And I'm Pastor Blair Hall. I serve St. George's in Clarksville, aka Frankfort, Delaware. It's one of those small named places that don't have anything in it. And we're about 2 miles apart from each other. And we're here to talk about how the hub is going to work in a illustrated version of what we are hoping to accomplish through working in this Dover Hub Exchange. So our first example that we have is one of the issues that we face in our particular area is the lack of daycare options. Currently, close by, there's two daycares to us that, but one of them has closed their doors and left parents scrambling on trying to find affordable daycare that is close by. And so we did a search for daycare within the area, and all these examples we're showing you is going to show different parts of our Dover district. We tried to make sure that we zoned in on something that was either the northern, southern, eastern, or western part of our district. So we did daycare, and we looked in the Millsboro area, and there is not a lot. You see the red dots that have showed up, and there's places that are barren. And so the question with looking at that data is, how could your church or other churches within the connection locally could come together and provide a space, whether it's for daycare as far as getting certification and stuff, or at just after school care where kids can be dropped off, bused directly to the facility, and then you provide affordable after school care for their children while mom and dad are finishing their work day.
Yeah, like Blair said, this is something near and dear to our hearts and life experiences because we have kids who just went through preschool. And that we both, Blair's done with his drive to preschool, but I have one out and one in. And like for us, when we moved back to the district, we were living in Longneck. So we signed our girls up for the preschool at Epworth United Methodist Church in Lewis because of the context and the setting and Christian education, also the affordability, and it worked out great. Well, all we did was move from Longneck to Selbyville, and we thought we could uproot our one child left in, get her somewhere closer, but we decided not to for consistency's sake and the quality of education and all that. But now, traffic depending, we're going up Route 1 through the beaches, that it's like 45 minutes one way to get her there and back. And luckily, thanks to us, and our not firm, office hours, work hours, we're not punching clocks or anything, we could and can pick up our kids or drive where they need to go throughout the day. For most of the people in our communities who are punching a clock, working 9 to 5, 1, 2, even 3 jobs, they can't do anything near that. Even 20 minutes or 15 minutes in some ways or situations may be out of the way, let alone what the cost of it is. So, like Blair said, you see these barren areas, and even all these hits, these are some places that are probably closed or kind of, based on how they look, I wouldn't send my kids there when they put online. So, you can't even take all these for what they are. And the matter is, what ways can we provide very accessible, close by, and affordable, even no cost childcare in any way to the folks in our community?
Our next example is community centers. And as we look at this, we went farther up in our district looking at different community centers. And when you look at these dots, some of these community centers are just geared towards a community, a homeowners association. It might be geared towards a certain age population. But you see on there's these areas that are hit and miss, and the question is there a way that you could provide a place for the community to gather? Is there, maybe you live in a town and that there is a building that's for rent or for lease on Main Street that your church and a couple other churches in the area could come together to open up, to provide a place for people to come and hold different gatherings there, whether it's showing a TED talk and then talking about the TED talk, whether it's doing the different other coffee house type ministries, or just for a place for teenagers to come to get off the street and have different activities there for teenagers so they're not roaming the streets causing trouble, and to be a place of refuge for people. The possibilities can just go on, and it's just taking the time to view your community and see what is there and what is not there, and how that fits into the scheme of mission of making disciples for the transformation of the world.
Yeah, I like the point what Blair mentioned, that not all these dots cover everybody. Like you get down here where you see lots together. I mean, that's just a swimming center. This is related to Nanticoke Hospital. Got corrections and the Cheer Center, which cater towards specific and necessary needs and groups, but there is incredible value just having a big, empty, multi-purpose spot for a lot of what Blair talked about, other things, for people to do things, any number of community, fun, fellowship, educational events at little to no cost.
Our next example is exercise and health. A lot of people cannot maybe afford going to a gym, or are intimidated by all the machines and different things and how to work them. Maybe you have the space to provide people to come in and do exercise and have someone passionate about exercising and health in your community, at your church. And this is a way that it can be either done through videos, or maybe someone has taken classes and is trained. From my experience, one of the churches that I worked in, we had a fitness class, and there's a majority of those people that came to the fitness class that looked at the fitness class as their church time. The instructor, she did a short devotional, she opened with prayer, and they worked out to Christian music. And some of those ladies that came to that exercise class, because of their background, did not feel comfortable stepping into a church on Sunday morning, but they saw 3 days a week coming to that class as their church time, because they heard a message, they had prayer, and they had worship through the music as they were doing exercises. It was a great way to rethink church and how to reach people in a way that someone from our church was passionate about, and we just took their gifts and talents that God gave them and said, here's the facility, what do you need to do it? And Brad has a story too as well about his church.
Yeah, part of the reason we picked this is our previous two examples, they kind of skewed towards younger, but at our church, which is not big in number and not big in size, but we have somebody who's trained in sort of exercise and health matters for older persons. So we just have a health class. She leads it, and there's about a dozen, give or take, who go, and it's all low intensity, sort of light core workout, minimal, strength training, and a lot of balance work, which you may even find, but a lot of these places here, if somebody's looking to take care of their bodies, their fitness, you got Planet Fitness, Powerhouse Gym, you got some cheer and tumbling, and you got all the CrossFit and body boot camp type things, which, like Blair said, is intimidating for anybody. I'm not going to try CrossFit ever. So for somebody who just, wants to do a little something to take care of themselves, and, can't afford a gym membership, they're expensive. Maybe you can't get close to one. That, again, if you have somebody trained, or just a video or just some equipment, again, if you have the space at no cost or even very little cost, you can help people take care of the bodies we're blessed with in all stages, time, seasons of life.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing is like what's beautiful about the exercise class that is offered at Millville United Methodist Church is the fact that the person that leads it is trained in doing exercise and fitness with those that are senior citizens. And so this is, a way to get them out and to get them socializing, to provide that socialization, also to work on their health and keep them fit and balanced in all aspects of their life. And then our last example, when we met with Dr. Paul Moon as the Dover District Strategic Leadership Team, he did a quick what's the top rated Google search, and when you do that, you pick categories, so you can look into different categories. And I don't know the exact name of the category he picked, but the top search was car seats within our Dover district. A lot of people searching and reading reviews about the best car seats. So that tells us that there is an influx of children possibly getting ready to come, or parents and their kids are grown out of their car seats and they didn't get the proper one that goes through all the different stages. And so how could the church, take part of that? So we did a quick search for mothers of preschoolers, the MOPS groups in the area, and we didn't find too many locally on the national site. And I know that there's some that meet in our area that may not be registered on the national site, but that's another way to provide and open your church doors to the community to help them to meet a need that they have, where mothers can come together, socialize with their children can socialize with other children to help learn those necessary skills that their children's need when they go off to school.
Yeah, as it says on the website, there are only two in our district. You have Lewis and Dover. They only meet at certain times. And then even just for our state, there are only a few in Wilmington and Newark. And like Blair said, there are other ways to care for the mothers in a variety of situations in our communities. But in terms of, this nationally recognizable way is something a name people know to search for. You only have these two places here and ways to find it out. So through this group, otherwise, to look after single parents, grandparents, fathers, those who are trying to raise their kids, need a lot of support, and trying to work all they can and get all they can just to provide their kids a healthy, good life. That here's another venue that we could do that in this way.
So I hope you enjoyed looking at a little bit of ways to research different things in your area, and this hub is going to take the brief examples that we've shown and put a lot more muscle to it, and to how to interpret the data and how to move forward. But this is just a good example of ways for you to start priming your own pumps as a church, and not just looking through Google searches, but obviously using your mission insight data to give you also a better picture, and using that mission insight data also to look at to steer and to look at different ways to search through Google that might be a way that your church could have a ministry that will have a great impact within the community it finds itself in. And the beautiful thing about this hub is it doesn't matter if your church is located in a big city or a small town or in the middle of nowhere and a crossroads, but we are a connectional system, and it's coming together, working together to make disciples. And the way that looks and will work is uniquely based in all the different areas that we find ourselves in, and how can we work together to see the gospel of Jesus Christ further the kingdom here on earth.
Yeah, and both Dr. Pauls will go more in depth on finding these searches he needs, but again, you can just pick things and type, gym, community center, this, that, or the other in a town, and you can see what's around you, and don't just go based on your perception of what's workable or not. Once you have mission insights, see who's around you, see what best meets the needs of folks around you, and what's missing, and what we can provide through this hub for them. All right.
Well, got any questions? I'll be available. If not, we'll see you soon.
Yep. Have fun at lunch.